Okay, so ForgeBox module of the week. This one has actually got quite a lot of attention recently from our development team, but I'm surprised we hadn't actually posted it before. So this is the Amazon S3 SDK, and that is up on ForgeBox. And for those who want to check it out, I'll share my screen. But it's kind of a ColdFusion module that just lets you tap into the S3 protocol. So you can tie into Amazon S3, but also DigitalOcean Spaces. And so I know Google has their own, blocks, and Azure has their own things. So basically, if it follows the S3 protocols and the interface, then this can connect to it. So the requirements, obviously, Lucy 5, Adobe 2018 plus. But basically just install it, and then you can set up all your access keys. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but this actually allows you to do it without ColdFusion. So this is the standalone setup. So even if you're not using ColdFusion, you can do it. You just have to create the S3 SDK instance and pass in all the goodies that you need. And there's lots of cool options too, like the default bucket names, and because with S3 there's obviously lots of buckets and lots of settings and encryption keys and algorithms and everything else. But usually the defaults work pretty good, and you can see most of them are here. But the cool thing we just added recently was for big files. I know Brian Klaus has mentioned this so many times, and actually I think at CF Summit last year is where I heard he mentioned that with the S3 SDK, you can actually do like a pre-post call to get a pre-signed URL, so you can actually directly upload big files straight to S3. So ForgeBox now, if you're uploading big files, instead of going through our ColdFusion server and having to suck up all that RAM as uploading this big file, and then we have to put it over to S3. When you go to upload through ForgeBox, we hit ForgeBox, say, hey, we're uploading a package, this is the details, and it goes to S3 and says, okay, we're going to upload this file, and basically gets like this URL, and then the browser automatically sends it straight to S3 and then tells us when it's done. And it's real cool. It really stops your server getting smashed when you're doing lots of uploads. But there's lots of other cool features. Obviously, you can download files and generate the temporary URLs so people can get access to a private file for a temporary link. And so a lot of times you'll use that on your page. Really neat, really cool. Yeah, and again, works inside and outside of ColdFusion, which I know a lot of people get mad if we don't have it work outside of ColdFusion, but it's a little bit more work, but you guys can do it. So yeah, I'm really excited to try and tie this into more and more stuff. So, especially with all the scheduling and task tools, CBQ and everything, basically stack up a bunch of things and just have it process off through S3. So there you go. So Amazon S3 SDK, and just so you know, it's using the REST stuff. So if you're using the Java SDK, you have to download about 450 megs of JAWS. And so that's why we use the REST API. But it handles the signatures and all that too. So, but yeah, just a side note there. So, okay. Anything to add to that one, Daniel?
No, it's apparently Amazon Web Services is not a fad. It's here to stay. No, it's actually really cool. We're using this in some projects, and it's just so nice just being able to just work with S3, put up our files, download our files, get our signatures to download the files.
Yep, and remember, CBFS, the CB file system, uses this under the covers, so you don't even have to worry about Amazon. As long as you got your credentials, you say, hey, store this file, it'll figure out where you want to store it, whether it's local or Amazon or whatever, because CB File Services abstracts away the details. So locally, you can just have it do locally, but in production, maybe you want to use S3. You could do that with CBFS. Why not? Yep, exactly. That was our ForgeBox module of the week, brought to you by Modernize or Die Podcast, CFML News Edition, proudly sponsored by Ortus Solutions. You can see the new episodes every week on cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io or on the Ortus Solutions YouTube channel.